the answer's wrong. Make sure you submit at the end, and when everyone's done, hopefully get some answers pop up. But throughout tonight, in the next 30, 40 minutes or so, if you've got any questions, feel free to just put it in the chat, and towards the end of the night we'll just try and answer some of those questions you got, whether it's myself, whether it's Priya, it might be someone on the Her Story trip that you've got a question for. Just pop it in the chat and we'll get to it a little bit later. How are we going with all those answers there? I think people are a bit longer for questions this time around. I think when everyone's finished, I'm hoping it'll come up. We are to see the answers there. Waiting on 4. Right, let's go. So we've got a few interviews on the phone. We might have to be a little bit like this. I'm going to try. All right, let's end that poll now and we'll see what answers we've got coming up. All right, what's the population of Kolkata? I'm viewing my quiz results. I wonder how we can get the full quiz results. Robbie, you might need to, or Ali, you might need to pipe in here. See how many we got right all together.
I'm just looking at the quiz here. You've got 25% got the first question right, 15 million.
Well done.
Down to the second question, what is the main language spoken in India? 45% got that right, Bengali.
Nice, that's good.
What year or century was Kolkata the capital city? Correct answer was 1772 to 1911. 20% got that correct, or 2 people.
Sure, that was a guess for most people.
What side of the road do people in Kolkata drive on? Legally left, legally right, whichever they choose. Legally left was the correct answer, and 80% got that correct.
Oh, what percentage shows whichever they choose? Because I would say that's also correct.
One person answered that.
Yeah, also correct. I'm giving that person a tick.
All right. What Offspring product is named after Kolkata? Cardigan, the clutch, the kitty, the cushion. I'm hoping the cardigan does come out, but the kitty was answered most and was the correct answer at 70%. And then what is the traditional sweet dish of Kolkata made from cottage cheese, sugar, and sometimes flavored with saffron and cardamom? And the mishti doi was the one most people answered, or 50%, but the proper answer was the rasgulla. Is that how you pronounce it?
Rasgulla. I have no idea. Never heard it. Mishti means sweet, so I thought maybe that was actually going to be the one, but I think I can hear the Her Story group out in the next room guessing. Right. So I'm hoping none of them got the Kolkata kitty wrong, because they just recently stitched from the panels. So cool. Well, if we pop up the vision statement, and I'm being connected to my computer, which I'm hoping this will work now.
Recording in progress.
All right, Dale, give me the thumbs up if you can hear me, because I can see you. Yes, great. So I suppose just starting off with our vision, it's to live in a life in a world, free from sex trafficking, where every life is healed and restored. And we've been talking a lot in this trip that it can be quite overwhelming to have a vision like that. Well, the overwhelming part is the extent of human trafficking and sexual exploitation and what happens. And, you know, sometimes when I'm speaking into this vision, it overwhelms me at an extent. How can we do that? How can we live in a world free from sex trafficking? But really, I've just spoken how we narrow it down to every life, and working with those ones. And, you know, over this week, for me, again, is just to remind me of the ones and of those girls that are so important. And we're seeing it here where they're happy, you know, just the joy that they now have. And there's still a road to recovery in that. But yeah, it's focusing on ones. And I just said before, like, any investment for me into that one girl is an investment worthwhile, if we can see a brighter future for her. So we'll bring Priya in. So if Priya's listening outside, or anyone else is, can you please bring Priya in? And Priya's just going to talk a little bit about the Prevention Centre. So the Prevention Centre, we've just got going, and I sort of visited it for the first time a few days ago, and it was really awesome just to see it running well, just again see how happy and excited the girls were to be there, and just the time and, you know, the research and all that we've also poured into getting this up and going. But Priya's the brains and the brawn behind it, and so we'll get her in to have a little chat. I'll just pop my head out the door and say, come on in. All right. Here we go. Welcome. We finally made it to the big screen rather than the phone, so that's okay. Positive. I've just shared a little bit about that basically you're the brains behind the Prevention Centre. So can you just share a little bit about what it means, why we got it going, and what it looks like?
Yeah, so the Prevention Centre is quite new. We just started in January, and it's just been 3 months. So we're all learning, but I think our main aim for the Prevention Centre was working with the vulnerable girls that are there in the red light area. So they could be vulnerable, you know, like just living in that area itself, you know, puts them in a vulnerable situation. And then some of them, you know, they have a big family with a lot of siblings and just a single mom, you know. So, and then having a lower education status. Some of them are school dropouts. And some of them haven't been able to complete their college because, you know, there's financial issues. So those are our main focus, like, you know, working with the girls and just being a community for them and a support for them, so that we can help them and help them, support them in their education, and, you know, help them move on in life and transition them into better working places if needed.
But one of the questions that's come up a lot is, how do we identify them? Like, we're obviously working in the red light area, so how did we first identify the first girls that we've got, and how will we you know, figure out which girls come into the Prevention Centre from here on in?
Yeah, so there, if we go into the red light area, you know, there are many girls, you know, and there are many young girls there. So how do we identify which ones do we want to work with? So it's just more seeing their family situation, especially like with that, like as I said, like a single mom who was probably working the trade earlier, but now is working in people's homes because, you know, of her age. But there could be a situation where, you know, there's too many siblings in your family, you're the oldest, go ahead and work, you know, so that we can get money out of it. Or there were there's one of the girls who got married, like she had a love marriage, but really young, you know, when she was 18, and then things didn't turn out well, you know, so she came back. Now she's living with her mom, but her mom is the only one who is the breadwinner in the family. So what does she do now? Like, if she doesn't have a skill, if she doesn't have, you know, has a job, like, how do they sustain themselves? How long would the mom be able to continue? So these were the things, you know, they went in, they did the survey, our caseworkers, and then we went through all of them, and we just took the girls who we felt were at high risk of, you know, could get into something like this, or could be, you know, lured into, you know, making the bad decisions or something like that, just to keep, you know, like, so we could protect them from that.
It's good. And so obviously since Jan, share with us like that, the story of one of the girls, how she brought her Kolkata into the community, and her grandmother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like already it hasn't been that long, and already we're just seeing them just be like I just love this place.
Yeah. So she's one of the girls, you know, she's really shy, and she's the eldest in her, there are three siblings, and she's the eldest. But all the love that she's got from her grandmother, you know, her parents don't give her much attention. But so when she came into our space, she was just so happy to just see how it was. She was like, I love this place. And it just, the first day as she looked into it, and then once she made the first Kolkata kitty, we give them the first their first Kolkata kitty. So she took that home, and her grandmother was so excited. She's old, so she just stayed in her house, but she was on the doorstep calling everybody, come, you know, come see, this is, you know, my granddaughter made this beautiful thing, you know. So she was so excited about it.
It's cool. So it's already having an impact, definitely not just within the girls, but within the community, and the, you know, even the grandmother so excited and proud of her daughter. I think that's what you're saying. She was saying how proud she was.
Exactly.
So,
yep.
Thanks, Priya. You'll stay here, but do you want to go get Tanya? We're going to hear from one of our trainees now. You go get her. I'll actually also bring in some of her story. Do you want to bring in anyone who wants to say hello? Any of the crew? Some of the Oz team know that they've got family and friends here, and wanted to just pop their heads and say hi, because it's been a while. Biz, I can see you there, you know, missing your husband, missing his beautiful face, I know. Oh, here we go. We've got Chris, have you got maybe some people up here?
There might be a couple from Deloitte there, and maybe my mum.
Maybe mum. Here we go. Hi. There's a few up here that don't have their screens on, but that's all right. Might see some names there. So anyway, there's
Wisley.
there she is.
Wisley.
They can't hear you, but they can hear us. So cool. Well, they're alive and healthy. I've kept them alive, so you're welcome. They've just got to now get through today and then the flight, and be good. So yeah, sweet.
It's good to see you all.
All right, and then Chris coming back in. So we've got Tanya, who's she's on the other side of our screen, so she is here. You can say hello.
Hello.
Hopefully everyone can hear that. And basically, we asked last year if any of the trainees would like to share their story. Now, we asked this cautiously, knowing that it's not easy to revisit and share their story. And we're very conscious as an organisation that when we do share stories, we share sometimes part of it, like confidentiality is a big thing. So we had 3 girls share, and one of them, her name is not Tanya, but that's the name that she has chosen to use. And we've got a video that we're going to show you, but we've got Tanya here. So Tanya, question, why did you say yes to sharing your story?
তুমি তোমার গল্পটা শেয়ার করার জন্য তুমি হ্যাঁ কেন বলেছো?
কেননা হচ্ছে যে আমিও চাই না যে কেন অনেক জায়গা থেকে অনেক জায়গাতে অনেক কিছু হয়, তো আমাদের ফ্যামিলির মধ্যে এরকমই হয় যে নিজের মা নিজের বাবা ওরকম করে মেয়েদের টাকার জন্য নিজের মেয়েকেও পাঠিয়ে দেয়, মেয়ে হোক কি ছেলে ওদের পাঠিয়ে দেয় যে ওরকমই খারাপ জায়গায় কাজ করেন। তো আমিও সেটা আমি সবাইকে বলতে চাই, শুধু বাইরের মানুষ না, ইনসাইড নিজের ফ্যামিলির মধ্যেও এরকমই চলে।
So she's saying she wants to spread awareness. Like, we always assume that trafficking happens from, you know, people elsewhere, like from the neighborhood, but then it does happen through the family as well. So she just wants to make people more aware of this situation.
And so you'll see her story in the video, but I know you're a very proud mother and you love your daughter. She's got a little daughter who's 2.5 years old, so we're sharing some similarities here in raising a daughter. What is your hopes and your futures for your daughter?
বলছি কি, তুমি একটা মা আছো আর তোমার একটা 2.5 বছরের বাচ্চা আছে, তো ওর তোমার সাথে রিলেট করতে পারছি, 2.5 বছরের মা আছো, তো তুমি এটা কি চাও তোমার বাচ্চার ফিউচারটা কেমন করে হবে ওটার জন্য?
কেননা যেরকম আমার মা যেরকম আমার সাথে যেরকম করেছে, সেটা আমি চাই না যে আমার বাচ্চার সাথে সেরকম আমি করবো, আমার বাচ্চার এরকম টর্চার আমি করতে চাই না। আমি চাই যে যেটা আমি পাইনি সেটা আমার বাচ্চারা দিতে চাই, আমার বাচ্চার ফিউচার করতে চাই, ভালো ফিউচার, যেন ভালো পড়াশোনা করি, ভালো একটা কাজ পাই। তারপরে যেটা হচ্ছে অনেক মানুষরা আছে যে মানুষকে হেল্প করে না, আমি চাই যে আমার সেই বাচ্চাটা যেন অন্যজনকে হেল্প করবে, নিজেকে না করে পড়াশোনা হেল্প করতে পারে।
So she's saying that something that she hasn't got from her mother, she wants to give that to her daughter. She doesn't want to her daughter to have the same life that she has. She wants to give her daughter everything that she can. That's good education, good food, you know. And then as she's very helpful in nature, so she wants to teach that to her daughter as well, so that her daughter would grow up and help others as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And now we're going to show her story.
I lived at a train station on platform number 14. My name is Tania. This is my story. I was 3 years old when my father died, and my mother brought myself and my 3 siblings to live at the train station. My mother sold vegetables and clothes there. When I was 13, my mother sent me to work in Delhi as a house helper. When I reached New Delhi train station, I was taken to a very dark place. Everything was dark. The lanes were dark, the stairs were dark, and I entered a room full of boys and girls. There I was locked in the room and forced to serve customers repeatedly every day. I didn't get any rest. I was told that my mother didn't know where I was, and if I said anything, they would kill me. No one would even know that I was gone. In planning my escape, each time a customer came, I would steal a little money. Then one day I found the courage to run away and bought a train ticket home. The next day, after returning home, I heard my mother talking on the phone to someone who wanted to take me. She was planning to sell me once again. My brother called in the police and I was placed in a safe home. It was then that I found Offspring. I felt so welcome when I first joined Offspring. I was happy again. I'm learning sewing machine skills and am now confident in making different bags. I had anger issues before, but I have been taught skills on how to control this and have learned how to keep patience. I'm sure I could get a job in lots of places, but nowhere else I will get this life-changing support. Life lesson I'm excited to teach my daughter. I am determined to be a loving mother and for her to never have the experience of growing up on platform number 14.
Well, I've seen that video quite a few times, but we're actually sitting here with Tanya. And we showed her the video today, and I spoke to her and said, you know, only if you'd like to, you know, answer a few questions. And I was talking to her about her daughter and the future for her daughter, and she just started crying. And there was real emotion there. And I'm going to have to struggle because shouldn't have started. Yeah, for her, she knows that it's still going to be hard for her to raise her daughter, but she doesn't want to see the same thing happen to her daughter that happened to her. And I just think that's really amazing. And I know when I come, we sort of connect over having little girls, and it can be hard for me because obviously have the privilege of raising my girls in Australia, and So we really want to support her any way we can in her goal of seeing her daughter thrive as well. We're going to now chat to a couple of the team that have come on this Her Story trip, coming to India for the first time and learning all about it. So we're going to welcome Claire, otherwise known as Clay, after this trip, because Claire has an English accent. She's from the UK. And when Prem was writing her name down, he's like real hesitant, goes, you wrote C-L-A-Y, and he's like, Clay? And I'm like, not quite. But this is Clay, or Claire.
Claire.
So I suppose, why did you choose to come on this trip?
Okay, so I'm Claire, and I am part of the Offspring event team in Geelong. So my main reason for coming on the Her Story trip was just to gain a greater understanding of Offspring in India, to help me in my role on the events team, and just to broaden my understanding and knowledge.
Has it been broadened?
Broadened.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Something that we've done, and those who know me and have followed the Offspring journey love a good high, low, and interesting moment. And like most days, we've done a high, low, and interesting as our sort of like debriefing of the day. So maybe give us your high, low, interesting of the trip. It's probably really hard.
It's hard. There's so many different ones. My main high is I would never have come to India. Like, it just wasn't on my list of things to do. So when having the opportunity to come, like, who better to come with than with you? Just on the tour guide, like, you're just amazing. And the experience that we've had here with Christy, that would be one of my highs. My other high is obviously meeting everyone and the hospitality.
Because I know you're quite nervous initially. You and Leanne were like a bit nervous, just the thought of India and females and being on certain stuff. But now, how are you feeling about you just feel
fine.
confident?
Yeah, I haven't felt like unsafe or like that first day when we were just following Christy's lead. We were jumping on buses, autos, crossing roads, like just literally,
I was winging it. I was winging it too. So what about low? And when we talk about lows, it's not like we're not trying to like dwell on the lows, but sometimes there's just low stuff, and it's
So sometimes low stuff's been like big things, sometimes it's been little things. But one of my lows was the other day when we were at the centre. And I was talking with Shanali in the other room, and I was saying like how much of a great job the guys are doing here. She was doing quality control of products, and we were just chatting about that, and she's just mentioned how lovely it was to have Australians here, because she hears about them but she doesn't see them. So it's like having those, it was one of them, because it just kind of made me feel like, I don't know, like
that she's missing out on something, or that
And then my other like real low was walking through the red light area, and just just being in it, and the vulnerability of the girls and the women in there, and just through the narrow streets. And I think my main take from that is just everything was dark. Like, it's just dark, dark in light, dark in feelings, dark in it just makes you feel really
and that goes Tanya's story right then. Like, she described it like the lanes were dark, everything was dark, that's a low, that though obviously we learn from and look at how can we be part of making that into something a bit brighter. And what about interesting moment?
My interesting is just how different like totally different India is to anywhere else like I've ever experienced, and just and how different the city is from one street to another. And as soon as you walk out onto the street, you've got the busyness of it, you've got somebody taking a bath, you've got people brushing their teeth on the side of the road, you've got the stalls, the markets, the organized chaos, the traffic, the cows on the highway, and the traffic light, but it all seems to work, and people are just darting in and out one another, and the horns, like there's just this constant noise. about it, everything, and
Organized chaos, I like
well,
to
yeah.
say.
And then you go back home and everything's formal and rigid and like in a structure. Like here, there's no structure, no time.
here,
Oh, in here there is
we're fine,
absolutely
we're
in
good.
here, but out there, yeah, it's all.
That's a good one.
But it all works,
It does. Well,
and we just
yeah.
have to adapt to that.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. Thank you. So what about how has then the Her Story trip from the start to the end influenced, I suppose, the journey of you understanding our trainees more?
So this morning we did a debrief and like spoke about different things, and we had it was quite emotional, wasn't it?
It is.
But for me personally, just being amongst the team here, with the staff and the trainees, and putting that connection to everything, broadening like my understanding. So on the events team, we were talking about how you do your event, you're selling the products. Like I've learned everything through Christy and the other girls on the team, and you that's how you put Offspring across to others. But now having been here and experiencing firsthand and working alongside the trainees in making up space, like that's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's given me a lot to get home.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Awesome. Thanks, Clay. Appreciate it.
Another student.
Go get another student. Yeah, these are my A+ students. No, they're just willing to share. But Brad, also first time to India. Brad is actually the treasurer of the board. We also have Chris, who's the chairman of the board, here as well. And so, yeah, it's been great to have those guys, dive deep into Offspring. Hello, Bradley.
Hey.
I feel like I'm going to have to change the screen so I know you're in.
Wide angle.
Wide angle, well
Yeah.
done. Yeah, all right, good. I think, the internet, sorry, might be going in and out a little bit. Hopefully you're getting the gist of what we're saying here, though. Why did you choose to come to India?
Yeah, so I'm on the board, and I knew about you, Christy, and I knew about Offspring.
Yeah.
And I've read everything about Offspring, and I've worked and supported Offspring for a number of years. But I now know that I had only a cursory or a surface level understanding about the impact and the meaning that Offspring is having in people's lives, and it's real. It's enduring, and the idea that you and Offspring and the whole organisation are changing people's lives really fundamentally. And I wanted to see it, and I wanted to understand it, and I think I understand it a lot better than I did.
Yeah.
But it's going to take some reflecting in really, really deep ways. When I get
Of
home.
course. Yeah. So we just heard from Claire and had her high, low, and interesting. What do you give us your high?
So the high, I think the high is just the devoted and the culture and the pure aspects of joy and support that I see in these girls and between the girls and the staff. To hear some of these young girls laugh in such an uninhibited way, it's a normal laugh that makes you smile. And to hear that, it's pretty hard to reconcile with some of the stories and some of the reality, the reality that some of them have faced over a number of years.
Yeah.
So to see that, and to see that, the staff love doing what they do, and the other people in the other organisations that we met, some of who do the rescues. These guys and girls are doing seriously dangerous things, and they do it because it's the right thing to do, and it's their calling, and it's very, very cool. So I think for me that's a high.
It's a good
high.
high. Yeah,
pretty good.
Well done. And what about your low?
The low, I think the low is I somehow feel like I should feel, I'm sorry that individuals have to go through this and to to understand that this actually goes on and it's so deep seated, and the challenge is enormous, and you know, to understand that human beings actually go through this is so far removed from what many of us will ever encounter, and understanding how we can help is something that I'll be seriously reflecting on when I get home. Yeah,
I mean, we shared about that a bit before, like just the enormity of it is like a massive blow because it just feels so overwhelming. But there is hope, certainly. And what about interesting, Claire shared her interesting is just India in general.
Oh my gosh.
Like, she didn't have anything specific. She was just like, oh, she did, but like just India is so different home. What's your interesting of the trip?
Whenever I go somewhere, I like watching a city wake up and watching it come to life. And normally that means, you know, the coffee shop's open and then people in suits, you know, or whatever. And this means all sorts of things. You know, people just appear out of nowhere. And, you know, there's, you know, the autos start and the traffic is okay for a little while, and then the traffic's coming every which way. There's a traffic hold up and it's a cow in the middle of the road. And it's just, I guess the interesting is the nature and extent of the different. And, you know, it's something that I'll cherish. India, before I understood about Offspring, India was on the list. It wasn't high on the list. It became high on the list very, very quickly, and I'm so glad it did.
Yeah, cool.
And the food. Can I put the food in there as a high?
As a high.
It's a high.
Yeah,
come back to the high.
Food.
Oh, it's great food.
Yeah. One more meal left, but we've had some good food.
Yeah, it's great food. Oh my gosh.
What then would you say to someone who's like considering maybe coming on a Her Story trip or going to India, or, you know, like, what would you say to them to encourage them?
Do not hesitate. Like I just
do not come. I mean,
do not hesitate to come. Do a bit of practice. Do your recon before you actually consider crossing the road by yourself. So just shadow a local. That would be some good advice, I think. But if you really want to understand and put yourself in a different position to what many of us would do day to day, this is the place to do it, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's I really you know, to see the impact that you have in Christy and your organisation that you built, I can't even imagine how satisfying you must feel. Like most recently with the prevention centre starting up, to see that, you know, meet the girls for the first time last week.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
It's very, very special. Yeah. So take time to be proud.
Awkward.
No, you know, absolutely, absolutely, and we've had a lot of laughs. So
we've had a lot of laughs.
I would encourage people who are thinking about it, and even people that are not thinking about it, to think about it and come.
Yeah, cool. Great. Thanks, Brad.
No worries. It. All right, thanks.
Yes, there you go. You've heard it from a couple of our guys. I'm going to try and take you through a tour. I'm just wondering if I go back on my phone and join there, and then I can take us for a little bit of a tour. It's easier for me to, on my phone, direct you and try and hide away, because obviously, again, confidentiality around the trainees and their faces, rather than taking my big laptop and doing it that way. So I'll try and join, and if we can switch over the things there. I know the back end, Ali and Robbie, doing a great job. And then, we have some time for question and answers. I can bring Pre back in if you want. If you feel like we've answered everything, that's also fine too. Don't necessarily have to go till 8:30. We just want to make sure that, again, the Zoom to India is a way for us to connect with people who are, following through events, following because they just love what we do on socials, following because they're actually donating. And so, this is just our way that we can connect with you guys, because I know that not everyone can come to India. And so want to be able to answer questions of anything that you got there. So, hang on. Which one am I on now? I can see two. Not sure the phone has audio option. Let's have a look. Join audio.
Recording in progress.
Oh, that's okay. You got me? Someone give me a head nod. Yes. All right. Thanks, Beers. All right. So, because I can just see, is this right? think it's working, although on my screen I can still see my computer. Can everyone see me on my phone? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's go for a quick tour. Let's see. I have Wi-Fi. I have no idea how the Wi-Fi is going to do. So, let's see. We're just coming in to say hello. This is the ladies at work. We've got ours. This is our social workers. This is Ashima and Shamali. You've met Priya, but this is sort of where they come in here and have our one-on-one sessions or education as well. Yeah. These guys are sorting out. We're making them work. It's bringing some beautiful product back home. We've got Claire and Leanne sorting through some saris. You're picking out the outside.
Yep.
Yeah, picking out what the product's going to look like next. And in here we've got the training room. I will just go down here so we can narrow it. So Lolita is our head vocational trainer. What are you making, Lolita? Oh, a new product. Yeah. We're making a bum bag, trialing, seeing if that works. So, hang on. I'm quality control. Chris is Bisley, watch this. Chris is on the sewing machine.
So I've made this.
I have not.
I'm going to prove it. I can drive this thing. Come on,
I don't think we have enough time, Chris, to see if you can actually. Nah. No, I'm joking. But he is having a go, Biz. So next, when you get home, put him on the machine. And so this is our space that we have where we have lunch, have devotions in the morning, just a sort of a common room space for us to meet at. And then downstairs, again, internet, not sure. We've got another training room in which there's some girls here working away. There we go. Bless you. We've got Krishna here. Where are you, Krishna? There you are. You can't see them, but they can see you. So Krishna's working on lots of different things. This is one of our electric machines. So we've got a few electric machines down here. We've got some other girls here working away. Hello. So that's we get back up. And we've got a terrace up the top as well. And so yeah, so we've got, I suppose, two units. Each of those units can hold 6 trainees, and so often there's some girls in one spot for a little bit, and they might have education in the morning, and they have one-on-one sessions. So there's always a little bit going on there. But just again, I don't know which one I'm at now, but if there's any questions, I'll have a look. But that's fine if there's not. We're just thank you for joining, for being part of it. Hopefully you've learned something new about Offspring and who we are and why we do what we do. And actually, I think we had a few, or just a slide. We do have a business brekkie coming up in May, and it's just opportunity to, we sort of say, business, helping fighting the business of human trafficking and trying to get businesses involved in, I suppose, what they're good at, what they know to help the business, because we do see there's 50 million people in slavery, and the revenue of human trafficking and what people are making off the business of human trafficking is huge. And so, we've got a real heart to see businesses of Geelong, Melbourne and Australia come together to fight the business of human trafficking. And so if you're interested in a business brekkie, come along. Okay. Sorry, technical issues. There's always something, but it's okay. If you're interested in coming along to that, then just, email us at admin Offspring Project, message us on social. We'll get it all. We can send out some information to you through that. But other than that, thank you for those who continue to follow on, continue to support us. We're really encouraged by that, and we wouldn't do what we do without you being on board. And so until the next, well, probably see you before then, but we'll do another Zoom to India at some point. And yeah, if you're interested in any events or what we do, or would like to make, you know, a donation, then obviously, yeah, head onto our website and have a look there. But thank you again. Bye.